All right, good morning, everyone. The first thing you're going to notice is that Lori's voice is a lot deeper this morning. You could probably piece it together. Lori is away this week. So, my name's Jason. I'm a partner at chartguys.com. I'm going to be leading the pregame show. So, you're all going to have to suffer through a little bit of pattern analysis, which is my thing. We're going to do our best to stick to Lori's format because it's just so good. Can we admit that? Lori's been absolutely crushing the pregame show. I watch it. A lot of the Chart Guys people watch it. It's a great segue into our regular market coverage that we do a few times a day. Let's get into, we're going to take a look at indices. We're going to take a look at some spiders. I want to check out crypto a little bit. And we're going to talk about a couple of tickers that Lori sent over to me. It's going to be fun because I just got them. And we're going to do a quick analysis as I would if I have just received a ticker to look at, which is a lot of what we do at chartguys.com. Gotta say chartguys.com. I don't know why I'm doing that. Okay. Yes, Lori did choose to be Jason today. If I have time, I'm going to do some tickers at the end too. So we'll get to it. I'm not going to waste any more time. I got a bad habit of rambling on, talking about nothing. Let's take a look at Ethereum, Bitcoin, the indices. A lot of the stories are somewhat similar today. We're seeing some strength. We're looking for hourly trend changes. And that is certainly the case for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So yesterday we saw a big sell-off in Bitcoin, which really dragged down a lot of the cryptos because our daddy Elon has decided that maybe, just maybe, he doesn't want to be the patron saint of crypto anymore, and seems to be, frustrating some people with his opinions. So we saw a sell-off in Bitcoin yesterday, where Elon sort of hinted at maybe Tesla had sold all of their crypto, and then later this morning said no, we didn't do that. So Merck is still responding to those sort of tweets and outside influences, which shows a relative degree of immaturity in the market, perhaps. But then again, we can also see somewhat similar situations in large cap stocks and to a lesser degree in indices themselves when individuals can poke the bear a little bit, so to speak. All right, so let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is trying to establish an hourly high or low. We can see that we're in an hourly downtrend because we lost our 46,500 and we're setting lower lows. So when we get into a pattern, we expect that pattern to continue as the most likely outcome. That's how we end up building long-term trends and channels. So in both major indices and in cryptos, the bulls and bears are at something of an impasse because they have the ability now to convert this to an hourly high or low and then push through 46,646.15. If they can do that, that becomes an hourly trend change. We zoom out, and then we look for that to occur again with a 4-hour higher low and a higher high, and to break 49,808. Because again, the most expected behavior, the most likely outcome is not a straight change. It's going to be a continuation in this sort of pattern. So we look for key levels for the bulls to break and give them an opportunity to move that strength up to the higher time frames to continue up to new all-time highs in the daily time frame. Because what happens here if we see a 4-hour lower high, that is a daily lower high. Let me correct that. If we see a 4-hour lower high, it becomes a daily downtrend. And we did we spent a long time in an uptrend, so now we're trading counter. And a lot is on deck for these hourly bulls to pull off their trend change. And that would give us an hourly head and shoulders, which is a lower low, and a higher low, which signifies the psychological change between a downtrend and an uptrend. And that's about as optimistic as the bulls can be for Bitcoin. Ethereum is set up somewhat similarly. In fact, it looks a little bit better in the hourly time frame. It had a very nice bounce, almost got 3,600. And we're in somewhat of a tightening range. I don't think we can draw as a bull flag. Why don't we try to do that? I love drawing patterns. That's my thing. So if I'm looking for a bull flag, I'm just going to connect these 2 points. I'm going to drag down and say, can we find correlation later? Because this is not a pattern yet. We need a third confirmation and at least a second confirmation. Because we're looking for a bull flag, we want to see upside. We're primarily focused on connecting 3 points of contact for a hourly bull flag. Now we have that idea in our head. Let's go take a look at SPX 500. So we have a relatively healthy move so far. We have given up a lot of our gains that we made on Friday in this hourly consolidation, but we're well over Friday's lows of 4,128. And if we go to the 4-hour time frame, this starts to look a little bit like a little bit of a bull flag. So the most optimistic move for the bulls today is going to be an hourly higher low over 41.28.2, and then look for continuation. That would be the most probable outcome. That's going to require a failure of this bull flag. So if we get a positive breakup of the bull flag, what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to draw that flag well, first of all. And we're going to do it in a similar fashion to what we just did for Ethereum. And I'm going to connect 2 points of contact. And ideally, what I want to be able to do is draw a parallel line that matches up our resistance point with what we're seeing on the downside. So I'm going to clone that entire line, drag it down. And if this contains the vast majority of my trading action, I'm going to try and connect to the lowest point on my red. Then I got myself, yes, there are multiple selves. I've got myself a nice little confirmed trend line, and that makes me feel better about my resistance. So do I have a flag? Maybe, maybe not. But what I do have is a 15-minute channel, and channels become more reliable the further on they go. So we're going to be looking for a break of this pattern. We're going to be looking for this ideally to be an hourly bull flag. And then what we're going to need for the hourly time frame is for the bulls to clear 41.76 to confirm with price action validation. We're going to do the same thing on NASDAQ. NASDAQ is also set up in a similar way with a big move Friday, lows of Friday at 13,217 as our low. We'll go do the same thing. Ask ourselves, if this is a bull flag, we should be able to draw it in. In fact, this one looks a little bit more wedgy to me. We can go and draw down. You can see how we drift away from this point. So we're a little bit more aggressive on the bull side, but what we can do is draw it like this. And you know what? That fits the bill for a bit of a wedge. That validates and confirms. That confirms so far. So this is a bullish continuation pattern. And just like on our SPX chart, we're looking for price action validation. And in this case, I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic. I want to see the bulls over top of 13,377 because that was a high point from an hourly bull push. If we go to the 15-minute time frame, you can see that battle. The bears push down, bulls bounce a little bit, grind this level, and then drop. So that becomes a 50-minute target and an hourly target. Pretty fun. Okay, IWM, because Lori loves her Fab 4. Woo. All right, daily time frame. It's all about yesterday's. It's all about Friday's lows. So 215.68. We're looking at a very solid bounce so far. So just like a lot of the other names, we need to see that. Let's redraw this pattern. So here's our red. Here is our little bit of volatility in this candlestick, a big move up. Now what we need to do is set an hourly higher low over the low of Friday's action. So we had some volatility here. Let's move this guy. What we want to do is get an hourly higher low and build an hourly trend up, just like we talked about on those other tickers. So that is what we need to do. Anything over 215.68 is going to do that for us on the hourly time frame. What that's going to look like, I don't know why those charts don't line up like that, but we're going to look for that hourly higher low and higher high. Maybe we get a bull flag type of pattern that's going to require a lot on the part of the bulls right away. Minimal profit taking. The only vote for that to perhaps be occurring as far as minimal profit taking is the amount of healthy consolidation we've seen on the hourly time frame pre-market. So a lot of people are already taking those profits and the price is drifting down because of that. So IWM needs to hold yesterday's high low of day. DGA, Dow Jones Industrial Average, these are words. We're not using acronyms today. We're looking for a very similar setup. We had an inside bar on the 13th, broke bullish, so bulls in control. 34,050.9 is the low, 5-minute time frame, holding up okay. All things considered, doing well. So we have a 15-minute uptrend trying to establish 15-minute higher lows. Loss of 5-minute uptrend, not a lot of follow through yet. So we can go back to our hourly time frame. And what are we watching for? Once again, an hourly higher low into continuation. So that is going to be the name of the game on all the tickers we've looked at so far. As far as indices, can we establish hourly higher lows? Is this healthy consolidation? If we lose Friday's low of day, that's going to be bad all around for everybody, and nobody wants that. Unless you're short, then by all means, I hope the market dumps for you. I don't particularly care which direction it goes. I just have a lot of fun charting it. And if you like charts and I love the planning, I love the hunt, I love executing a trade, I love watching it all happen. An XLF daily time frame pre-market is 37.73. So we're gonna check out our spiders now. If you don't know what spiders are, they are sector ETFs. So if the SPY represents a big pie, let's try and turn off our magnets. If the SPY represents a big pie chart and we get big chunks like a pizza, Then we've got, healthcare tickers. We've got tech tickers. We've got biotech tickers, and all of those belong to sectors. So just like SPY represents the whole market, XLF represents a collective of finance companies. So we can look to each of these sectors as representatives of their pieces of the pie, and if they all collectively work together as far as being strong or weak, then that really can dictate what SPY is going to do. So if XLF, XLV, XBI, all of our big names are strong, SPY is very likely to be strong. But if SPY is in a beautiful setup and it is primed for a bull move, but XLF and XLV dump, then SPY itself is going to have to fight against that current and is going to have a lot less follow through. So we always watch our major sectors to get an idea if they're working in confluence, if they're working against each other. If they work against each other, we're more likely to have a choppy day. So XLF 3773 is our pre-market level. High, low of day on Friday is 3746. So probably looking for what? An hourly high or low. XLV, somewhat similar situation. However, look where we are right now. We're currently grinding Friday's low of day. So 123.14 is a level for us to hold. Whether we open below or above that is important. If we open above, we want to see if it acts as support. If we open below, we want to see if it acts as resistance. Ideally, we'll bounce off that and see a little bit of a bull move because we want the market to continue and get those hourly higher lows. XBI, we already see pre-market. We're holding above Friday's low of day, 122.84. 5-minute time frame, looking good. Looking again for hourly higher lows. So you get the name of the game here. That's pretty much what we're looking for. So hourly higher lows, this is what we want. Let's go take a look at Lori sent over some tickers. So I'm going to check out these first. And then we're going to take a look, perhaps maybe something you guys want to take a look at. Okay, so I want to keep XBI open. These are the tickers that generally I have open all of the time. So as I move through the trading day, if I haven't found setups that I'm already watching on my other monitors, if someone says, hey, as Lori did, check out Airbnb today. We had a lot of high volume pre-market. No news that I can find, but high volume movers tend to clear out the order book early, which can result in some substantial moves in the actual trading session. So we'll go on a daily time frame. We're going to run a whole analysis. Daily time frame, beautiful inside bar, big volume on Friday, so we can use some key levels. We're playing inside bars. We're primarily concerned about the high and low of day. Looks like we're opening right in the middle at 130.75. Let's get our magnets going here. Shout out to my man Dragon, who moderates the live chat here. Thank you so much, man. And I would normally wear the blonde wig, but I just couldn't find it this early. Plus, there's no camera, so it'd just be for me, which is okay. A little bit of self-care, I guess, right? All right, so what we're looking for on our Airbnb is going to be, ideally, if we're playing bull, a higher low over 131.67 on the hourly time frame. And we want to do is keep this space of support. This is a big dip all the way to the low day. We want to keep this area of congestion at our backs. So we go to the 5-minute time frame, we can see that we had that big V-shaped recovery, and then we established a base of support, slowly building it over the course of the day. The lowest point in that is 136.50. We want to stay above that level. Ideally, maintain a 15-minute higher low. Hourly higher low is going to be the name of the game. That's what we want to see. Just like in our spiders and our indices, we want to see that happen. If we're looking for a big bull move today, we want to see that hold. We would like to see a pattern develop. We want to get up to 142.25. Best thing for me to do would be a little bit of a bear push, a big 5-minute move, consolidation, bull break, and trigger that inside bar to the upside. That's going to require a lot on the bulls, but the daily play is going to be a break over 142.25 inside today's range. That's likely to get choppy because it is an inside bar. So we need to be watching out for that. Majid, I miss Lori too. She will be back. A little bit of a different flavor, isn't it? BYNB. Daily inside bar again. So it looks like we're going to be breaking this one bull. So when we gap up with the inside bar, it tends to negate the action. But what we can do is look for the pattern to reemerge. So if we have 106.25 as our inside bar high, if we can see the bulls come back in and re-break that level, that activates that inside bar. Otherwise, we'll consider this to be an action, and we're going to be looking for a resistance check at 111. It's all about how much volume can we get. It's nice news, apparently. I don't pay too much attention to that, but I want to see that volume coming into play, and that is my range. Oh, Majid, you hurting my feelings. I think I saw one in there last week. Okay, we got 5 minutes, my friends. Is there anyone who wants to check out a ticker? One of the big things we do at Chart Guys is 3 times a day, we jump on the mic like this, we take a look at the markets, check in and see what's happening, and then we ask our friends, hey guys, you got anything you want to take a look at? How can I help you? Let's see. Peloton. Peloton has been a lot of fun. Peloton has had a lot of volatility. So if you haven't been following, Peloton basically had a recall. It was a big recall, and there was an overreaction to the downside. So what we need to do is look at what happened in the market before that. Overall, Peloton was in a downtrend, because when we move months and months away from the charts and we start to disassociate the news and the reason and the rationale, the narrative really behind them, why the market moves, all we have are candlesticks. So I know what happened on this day, but I don't remember what happened on this big red day or that big red day. Certainly a difference in volume, but what we have to look for is a continuation in what the chart is doing. So on the daily time frame, we did see a daily downtrend, and we saw a bit of a bounce. Right now, anything under 104.39 is going to be a daily downtrend, so that's the most likely outcome. Go to the weekly time frame. We're just on a weekly bounce. We're not quite weekly oversold, but we do have a weekly inside bar, so that's useful for us. We can pay attention to that, just like we did with the daily inside bar, because those are congestion setups. We have dropped, we have equalized, and now we are trying to find a new reason or something to do. So 97.80, is that our weekly level? It is. So we are well positioned to try and get a weekly bull break. If bulls can get over 97.80, they're going to activate those weekly traders. And we got a little bit of resistance right above that and 98.80. Hourly time frame, we can see that we have an overall hourly uptrend. It's starting to look a little bit wedgy, but just like all the other names, we're looking for an hourly higher low over Friday's low of day, 92.90. We're positioned very similarly to the overall market, where we've consolidated well pre-market, and we're going to be looking for ideally a minimal flush, hourly higher low, bull break on the weekly. Bulls want 97.80. Would not be too interested in until we get over top of that, because if we stay inside this weekly inside bar, which is not improbable, it is going to be a choppy, difficult trading situation. Okay. Let's take a look. I think I got time for a couple more. Majid wants to look at coin. Well, you called me out, Majid. Of course I got to do your coin for you. All right, so coin has a big broadening formation. A broadening formation is at a period where you have, just like we talked about inside bars. So if this is our candlestick, we get a candlestick that is higher and lower than the preceding range. What sets up these broadening formation resistances? Resistances aren't always just horizontal levels. They can become these broadening formations where we get a low, we flush below that low, and a lot of people wonder why they got stopped out. Well, it's because it wasn't a horizontal resistance or support. It was a broadening formation. So we'll get stopped out with the flush, and then the price moves violently in the other direction. Gets a little bit frustrating, but that is what we were looking at coin. And right now we are testing the lows of this broadening formation. So we can go to our daily time frame, look what our key levels are. 256.35, go to our weekly. And what's our weekly chart? Risk of, I don't like too messy of a chart. This is already getting too messy for me. Let's see what our hourly time frame is doing, if it loads it for me. Let's see. I might have to just reload this chart. Let's try it. Okay. Well, I'm not going to risk getting too far away from it, but you get the idea. Here is our broadening formation. And really what I really wanted to do was determine if we can get, good. Let's clear this chart so we can get our weekly levels. It's all about 250.51 and our weekly low. Oh, looks like we're opening below that, aren't we? I do need those levels after all. 250.51 and there we go. Hourly time frame. All right, so we are already below our weekly support. If we open here, not going to be great, but we do have our pattern and our hourly broadening range. So right at that low, I don't want to see the bulls dip below this level. If you're playing very, very aggressively, and you're going to have to be playing very, very aggressively because we are at all-time lows, we don't have any support under this, we're going to be looking for a quick flush. We're going to be expecting a flush because we are broadening range for support. And if we go to the 5-minute time frame, what I would like to see, and the only way I would look at an entry on coin would be if we have a flush, we come back, get a bit of a higher low, and then I got to place an entry at a higher low, and I'm going to stop out once we hit a new low of day. I'm not interested in bag holding coin for any amount of time, but if I'm going to try and catch this broadening formation support as the low from which we're going to see some upside, I am going to at least wait till we get a 2-minute trend change, something that I can stop out again. If we see that come into play, our resistance is going to be from the daily time frame. It is going to be the high of day at 280.64, and likely, yep, that's the only one that we really have. No, hourly time frame is going to give us a couple of levels too. 263.85, and then we're going to be looking for our 271.63 to come into play. Okay. That's it for today. We are ready. The Chart Guys regular stream starts in 9 minutes, and I'm going to be watching that and participating with the community. If you guys like charts like this and you just want to learn as much as possible, like I always do, come check out chartguys.com. It's a lot of fun. There is a community of absolutely terrific people. You don't have to trade alone. You don't have to learn alone. If you want to talk about charts with people who are as excited or perhaps even more excited about this than you are, come home, guys. I'm waiting for you.